within a year after he left Congress, he became the paid lobbyist for the government of Turkey, and he's registered under FARA, Foreign Agents Registration Act. But then there are people who work for these lobbying firms who are not the top, but they have received their share while they were working, whether they are in Pentagon. One person was Defense Intelligence Agency person, Dana Bauer, and now she works for Bob Livingston. But this individual, Ms. Bauer, did a lot of favors and illegal favors for government of Turkey and others, and then was hired by Livingston and put on a big salary to represent Turkish government. So it's not only top tiers, the lobbying firm, but even the people who work for them later and the various layers of those people.
Okay. What about Richard Gephardt? You know who he is, right?
Yes, I do.
And do you have any information about whether or not he took money from Turkish organizations?
No, I just have current information based on what I read, that he joined a lobby firm that represents Turkey, with the same lobby that Mr. Hastert got hired, but I don't have any information.
You ever heard of a firm called DLA Piper?
Yes.
Law firm? Are you aware of them lobbying for the Turkish government?
Yes.
Let me give you a hypothetical and just get your understanding of what might be going on, because it's particularly relevant to our case. If you have a hypothetical congresswoman from state X, her district has no Turkish population to speak of or Armenian population to speak of. She's the largest recipient of Turkish PAC money in the 2008 election cycle. Right? She Winston and Rogers of the Livingston Group, when they're escorting members of the Turkish parliament to a reception, she receives fact sheets from the Livingston Group talking about Turkish relations, goes to luncheons in honor of the Turkish foreign minister, and she opposes Armenian genocide resolution, and in fact refuses to even recognize genocide as a historical fact. What's your sense? What does it tell you what's going on there?
I object. There's no showing at all that she's got any expertise. It's speculation here. She's asking purely for an opinion that's totally irrelevant and objectionable.
Based on several that I personally know about in terms of how they conduct and how they behave, those elected officials who are serving the foreign government's interests, I would say that modus operandi that you described is a classic fit of how individuals who happen to owe their and favors to a foreign government, in this particular case Turkey, behave, act, and the kinds of people they associate with. That modus operandi classically matches the individuals I know who were serving Turkish governments and other Turkish entities' interests.
In your view, based on what you know, would it be a reasonable statement to say that that congresswoman is taking money from Turkish interests in part for denying the existence of the Armenian genocide?
Objection, pure speculation.
Say, based on my knowledge, my experience, and what I know, that money, those Turkish entities, lobby organization will not give a penny to anyone unless they have a prior pact with that person of this is what you're going to do for us, and that has been the case at least until 2002.
In your blog, one of the things that you say, you're referring to your lawsuit, I think, but you say, my case also involves espionage activities by several high-level U.S. officials, both elected and appointed. Have we already talked about, for the most part, what you were referring to there?
Some of it.
What have we not talked about that you're referring to in that portion of your blog?
You want to discuss it off the record?
Sure.
Want to take a break off the record?
Going off the record, the time on the video screen is 12:18 and 22 seconds. Here marks the beginning of videotape number 2, taken in the deposition of Ms. Sibel Edmonds. Going back on the record, the time on the video screen is 12:29 and 38 seconds. Please continue.
Okay. We had a pen and during the break discussed it with counsel and we just agreed to withdraw that question. And basically because it was too broad and so forth, and it's probably not necessary. Let me ask you a different question, Ms. Edmonds. I understand that you executed an affidavit, or a declaration actually, in this case on August 5, 2009. Happy to show it to you. I've got one copy of it. I'm happy to show it to you if you'd like to see it. But I just have some questions about some of the things you said in the declaration. In paragraph 3 of your declaration, you say, I also obtained evidence that the government of Turkey had engaged in practices and policies that were inimical to American interests and had in fact resulted in both the direct and indirect loss of American lives. And do you recall saying that in your declaration?
Yes.
Can you tell me what practices and policies that you were referring to that were inimical to American interests?
There's several. One is practices and operations implemented from mid-1990s, at least until towards end of 2001 in Central Asia and Caucasus there. And these operations and practices included Islamization of the certain segments of those Turkic nations, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan. There are so many of them in that area, and setting up madrasas and bringing in helping bringing, at the time they were not referred to as Al-Qaeda until 2001, September 11, they were referred to as plain Mujahideen from Afghanistan and Pakistan into Central Asia, then to Turkey to give them passports, and then funnel them in 1997, 1998 to certain Eastern European countries and the Balkans. And also, I mean, it's very broad. I can go on for a long time about what practices and why they were against the security and the interests of the Americans and the lives.
Okay, well, I don't want to burden you too much, but I would like as complete an answer as you can give us in terms of what you were referring to.
Those operations went at least until September 2000, and again, for those operations, they corroborated and worked with certain U.S. persons who were involved in these operations. The other would be the illegally obtaining and selling U.S. military and military technology, and that includes weapons and nuclears, and even from foreign policy related secret or high top secret information, and not only for Turkey, but passing this information to what they refer to as highest bidders, and whoever bid highest, whether these people were nation states or they were just individuals that we were pursuing under counterterrorism after September